now. Hello, friends, and welcome to the Talking with Famous People live stream. I'm here not only with myself, but also with Dattei. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end one of these window couches. It seems to be putting a little bit of a strain on my computer, and I'll just make this full size. So, I'm here to type this gentleman and to determine whether he is what kind of NFJ, possibly. So, he contacted me and said I typed him before, and I think I typed him as INFJ, and he's felt like maybe his SI is too good for that, and or his TE, I mean his, yeah, or his TE is too bad. One of the two. So, I would like to get people from the.
You type me ENFJ.
I typed ENFJ, right? And you think you might not be an ENFJ, you might be an INFJ. So I'm curious to try and see how that works with testing some SI questions, and also I'd like to get people from the chat, like I said, an opportunity to ask the kind of questions they would like to ask that perhaps they don't get the chance to ask ever. So, okay, first of all, let me just ask you to, can you provide me some examples of one person displaying the quality of closing the distance too fast with another person in terms of somebody you just met or whatever? Can you think of any examples of that from TV, movies, or your own life?
I know a girl, probably ESFP or something, that friends with everybody, thinks she's best friends or dating, and then just goes crazy up and gets up in people's face when talking to them. Like, no space. Like 6 inches, 3 inches.
Okay.
Like,
all right. So,
if that's what you were asking.
Yeah, that's a good example of it. Okay. So, can you give me an example from TV or movies?
TV. I don't really watch them much, but like the reality shows, I don't know, Jersey Shore or something. They're all up on each other, either fighting or whatnot. They're all just over like dumb shit.
Okay. Do you feel as though?
Oh, this girl looks better than me, or that. Yeah.
Okay, so when you encounter that sort of thing on TV, you find it uncomfortable, like you want to turn it off as fast as possible, or you just don't, you're not interested in it?
I guess myself and my buddy, who's probably ESFJ, just laugh and say how stupid they are.
Okay.
Or the whole, the concept of it, the people, I guess, judge them. I don't know.
Okay. So when you're feeling like somebody's worthy of your harsh judgment, what have they likely done?
Um, Usually make assumptions about me or make judgments and, start labeling me off of faulty assumptions and judgments about something that wasn't true, and then when they're called on it, they say, oh, the truth doesn't matter. That truth doesn't matter. What's true? They think their perspective is more important than the truth.
Okay. So, how do you think you distinguish between something that's true and something that's just a perspective?
I mean, truth is. I mean, the perspective would be, someone's subjective interpretations of something, and then the truth is something that could be objective, that multiple people can see, or multiple people can identify, or
Okay.
something that there's some reasons or something for.
Okay. So, if let's say that I were one of your friends, and I wanted to go up and tell this girl how I really feel about her, how I really felt about her, or whatever, and your job was to dissuade me from doing that. So, what might you say to tell me, like, no, that's a bad idea, don't do that?
Hey man, it might be a bad idea. It's gonna go wrong. I wouldn't do it.
Okay. Well, he says, well, why? Why do you have so little faith in me? I mean, maybe she likes me.
Well, maybe she does, but she's still bad news, or still a bad situation.
Okay. Can you tell me,
Yeah, sorry. I don't always like to have conflict with people. I guess I don't know.
okay. Can you tell me, what you had for dinner last night?
Last night,
Yeah.
um, last night I had pork chops and some salad.
Okay. Were they delicious?
They were really good. Yes.
Did you have any applesauce with your pork chops?
I had some applesauce. Yeah, it was good.
Dattei, if you had to make an ongoing appointment for 10 hours every quarter, would it be better for you to plan these hours every first and third Tuesday evenings, or just once on the third Monday of the second month of each quarter?
Huh?
I'll read it again. If you had to make an ongoing appointment for 10 hours each quarter, would it be better for you to plan these hours such that you break them into two chunks occupying the first and third Tuesday evenings of every month, or would you rather get them all done once on the third Monday of the month?
I'd probably procrastinate, and then, oh crap, I gotta go do it, and then
Okay.
do a bunch towards the end. If it was something I didn't want to do.
Okay. Can you tell me an example from history where a historical figure was bit off more than he could chew?
I guess Napoleon trying to go into Russia, going to Russia, and invading Russia and getting stuck in the winter and losing half his army.
That's a very good example. Okay. Can you tell me an example from literature or drama or whatever that of a woman character who was a sneaky betrayer? Sneaky betrayer woman.
I don't remember the name, but I believe the French lady who seduced Nietzsche or whatever.
I mean, Mademoiselle Le Slut?
80 something.
I think it was Mademoiselle Le Slut.
Something like that, yeah.
Dattei, what is your number one recommendation for host Eric to improve his channel? Question from Hibili Orknoflur.
Should Eric do? That's a good question.
Okay, who's my father's mother's
I guess hire T user to help him.
Hire T user to help me is a good answer. Who is my father's mother's husband?
Because I can't do none of that stuff.
Right.
Who's my mother's husband?
Who's my father's mother's husband? Who's my father's mother's husband?
Father's mother husband is grandpa.
Right. Okay. If you had a technologically advanced sleeping pod, would you rather have an inbuilt toilet whereby you'd be able to pee without ever getting up, or would it be rather outside of it?
Outside of it.
Outside of it? Why? You don't want to pee inside your sleeping tube? Think it would smell like pee too much?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
How many hours of sleep do you get a night?
I'm real bad with that. I go to sleep at all different times, but I try to get 7 to 8 hours, but sometimes 5, sometimes 10.
Okay. If it takes one to know one, and I know one, what can we conclude?
If you take one to know one, that you know one.
Oh, that's what I told you, though. I do know one, but what can we conclude besides that? Anything?
That's nothing else. I don't think.
When is the last time you took a shower? That's a good question. I like that one. So when's the last time you took a shower? And I'm not asking because you smell, okay?
This morning.
Or this morning, okay, cool. How do you plan your weekly schedule? You use Google Calendar or something?
I used to not plan anything and then messed everything up, so now I use the calendar on my phone.
Okay. If only chefs can come in here and I'm not allowed in here, what can we conclude?
That you're not a chef.
Okay. if all chefs are allowed in here, and I'm not allowed in here, can we conclude I'm not a chef?
You can't conclude anything from that.
Actually, I think that's. I think you got those last two backwards.
Wait,
Because
did I?
only poets are allowed in here, and I'm not allowed in there. Can we conclude I'm not a poet? No, because not all poets are allowed in. And in the second one,
You're right.
yeah. Okay, where do you imagine yourself in 5 years?
Um, hmm, I don't. That's a good question.
Do you picture yourself older or younger?
I would like to be younger, but I'm gonna end up being older.
It's true. The truer words have never been spoken. What do you mean? Am I scamming the dude? This is. I'm not charging him anything. Um, so, he contacted me. He said he'd be interested in doing this on a live stream. I said, you know what? Okay, I'm interested in testing the test questions because apparently I typed him as ENFJ before, and but he's got some questions about that given the fact that his SI seems better than polar, and I would agree that thus far it seems better than polar.
And my TI seems a little bit better than fourth because I'm
Okay,
able to do the questions on the typing sessions.
okay. Um, how much have you been practicing them? I mean, like,
A lot.
um, okay. Sheila wants to hear the answer to the 5 year plan question. Can you give us more about what your 5 year vision is?
Um, I I probably want to move. I don't know, Florida or somewhere nice near the beach, and then I currently am a life coach and mentorship. I could do a lot of it online and stuff, and just do that. You know, 20, 30 hours a week, and then just you know live on my own in nature, and
Live on
it's good
your own in
times.
nature? Like Rousseau or something?
I don't, not like that much. I don't know. Just going to the beach, hiking and doing stuff, I guess.
Okay. So, what do you think makes for. Let's play the. You have the superpower called Everybody Hear Me Now. And you get to say a broadcast to the world for 30 seconds is what your one or two pieces of advice that you think applies to everybody. How do you use your power?
Um, I would try to get people to stop going into groups and fighting each other. The politicians and everybody dividing us and making us all fight, and try to heal the country, heal the world, and it's not worth fighting over this stupid stuff that they make us fight over.
Okay. How many uses can you think of for a brick?
Br- Brick, you could build a house, you can throw it at people, you can use it to put under a table, you can write on it, you can uh
O-
throw in the water, try to skip it.
Okay, all right. So, how much have you watched these typing sessions? You watched a lot of them.
Um, some of them.
How many text messages did you send today?
How many texts? A few. Probably, I don't know, 8, 10.
Okay. Um, Tell me about what makes a given piece of media, particularly a video, good.
For me, I like the the content. If it's YouTube we're talking about, I like the if it's good content, it's the person is the person talking's funny. It's
What do you find interesting about typology? Asks
sometimes
Sean
I
over
watch.
there.
Um, I really got into it maybe the last year and a half, 2 years, and it's just interesting learning about people and seeing how we're all different and how we're all the same, and it gives me a reason or gives me understanding why people do the crazy stuff they do.
Okay. Do you talk to other people about typology in your life?
A couple, but most of them are censors and they don't understand, so I have to not use the terminology, not use, you know, I have to generalize it more, and
Not get too
because I
jargony. Yeah, I
lose them.
get you. Okay, can you tell me what your understanding of extroverted feeling is?
Extroverted feeling, it's basically how how someone understands other people and each other and the group, and how we manage the emotions and that kind of stuff.
Okay. What about introverted feeling? Can you contrast it against what you just described?
It would be how I'm feeling in the moment, sad, happy, or
How are you feeling right now?
you know, the feelings. Knew that was coming. I still can't answer it. Normal.
Okay. What what
I
physical
thought I'd be a lot more nervous doing this than I am.
Okay.
Sorry.
What physical sensation goes along with anger for you?
I just, I guess, I guess my body gets hot or tense up or something.
Okay. Um, can you tell me a story that somebody else has told you? In other words, like this. My dad had told me a story of one time he was playing in the band, and one of the band's people in the army band that was playing the army jazz band in Europe got so drunk that he fell off the stage. Can you do the same thing with another person's personal story?
Yes, I can. Um, my dad once told me a story. He was, I guess, a long time ago or something. He was playing golf, and um, I guess it was his second shot. He hit the ball, bounced off something, and then went straight into the cup, and he got an eagle, and told me tons of stories like that about playing golf.
Okay. Winston's mom asks, could you please tell us about two intuitives you know personally or work with?
Huh. I'm not sure how many I know is the problem. Who I'm sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, do you feel confident about Mia's type? Like, well, now Josie, I know she's a Mia. Do you have anybody in your life that you feel that way about?
Yeah, but most of them are fencers. It's
Okay. Well,
ESTJ, ISTJ,
can you describe to me?
ESFJ.
Can you describe to me the ISTJ in your life?
Yeah, it's Oh, you need to do it this way. You know, when I'm at even, at first I thought I was screwing up. He's just telling me how it's done when I'm doing it. I was like, I am doing it that way. No, 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 no. Okay. Doesn't give me any details. Just you ask for more information and they just repeat what they just said. No,
Okay.
no, I get that, but why? Why are we
Okay.
doing it like that? And then,
All right. Let me ask you this question: if not P, then Q or R, and not P, or in other words, P. So, what can we conclude, if anything?
you said not P?
If not P,
Or did you say
then
P?
Q or R, and P. What can we conclude?
I don't think we can conclude anything.
I think you're right. Um, if P or Q, then R, and not Q and R, what can we conclude?
Can you repeat that?
Yes. If P or Q, then R, and not Q and R, what can we conclude?
P. P.
Right. Um, if some bananas sing Christmas songs, and all things that sing Christmas songs love pickles, is it necessarily the case that some bananas love pickles?
Yes.
You're right again. Um, okay, so for those of you who wanted me to push on the TI some more, there you go. Uh, I would agree with you, based on the test results here, that both your SI is not polar and your TI is not polar, obviously, and probably third, possibly fifth or sixth. Is pretty strong, but could even be second. I'm not sure. Okay. Describe to me a decision that requires you to use your emotions.
Um, I would need to use my emotions to figure out if I like a girl and want to date her, or you know anything to do with like friendships and relationships and stuff.
Okay, so describe to me that process of checking your emotions. Do you actually use it? You said you would need to. Like, hypothetically, do you actually need to?
Like just I would just sometimes, like, without even realizing, I just know in the moment, hey, this isn't right, or hey, this is gonna turn out bad. I can't explain why. I just know.
Okay. Is that an
And every time
emotion?
I
Is that an emotional
ignore
thing?
that, it becomes a disaster.
So do you link that to an emotion or not?
The just knowing isn't an emotion, but every time I don't listen to it, it turns out it I have bad emotional consequences. So, like, technically that's not emotion. I guess you're right.
Okay, so
Huh. It was-
um, what happens if you feel uh, a lot of excitement about another person? Like, do you, and you think, let's say there's this woman named Cheryl that you met and you think, wow, Cheryl's pretty special. Now, are you going to go around a lot thinking, like, oh, that's Cheryl, I can't get her out of my mind? I really feel fondness towards her. Or something else.
I'd probably feel the emotion of that, but I probably wouldn't go around talking about it all the time because I know I would annoy all my friends with talking about it.
Okay. Do you think it would make you pursue her harder than if you felt less strongly?
But I wouldn't want to over pursue. I wouldn't want to over pursue because then she'd react and back off. But I also don't want to under pursue and think she's not. She think I'm not interested, so I probably play it play it cool. I guess I don't know.
Okay. So, what does it mean to you to care about utility?
I I'm not that good at it. I'm not very efficient.
Okay. What makes something useful ultimately?
My definition or what society thinks.
Your definition.
I mean, something useful. I guess if it works and gets the job done, it doesn't have to be the best or anything. If it just works, I don't care.
Okay. How much does appearance of the thing matter to you? So, like, if if I repair something and it works fine now again, but it doesn't look good, what are your thoughts?
It would depend on what it was. If it's not something anybody else would see and it didn't it cost me less, I'd obviously take the slightly damaged thing for off. I don't know, because I don't really care about the showing off of stuff. I don't care about the brand names. I don't care about the, you know, $100,000 car, whatever. It's
How do you react when
just,
how do you react when people approach you with anger?
it would depend if I did something wrong, or if they had a legitimate reason, I'd probably concede the point. But if they were using it to manipulate me or were in the wrong, I don't know. I'd probably fight back.
What's more important quality you think in those around you? Is it that they be fair to you, or that they be say affirming words and generally supportive, let's say?
Fair. It has to be fair, because if they're people who have double standards and don't treat me fairly, don't treat others fairly, then I get angry
Okay.
and say, "Hey, that's not fair." And
Okay. So let's try a couple of inky pinkies. Um, for example, okay, so this is a skinny food processor, and it's an inky pinky.
process.
Anybody in the viewing audience wants to guess that,
Skinny food process.
I'll repeat the clue. It's a skinny food processor. It's an inky pinky. Boo, beep, boo, boo, ba, ba,
I don't know.
It's a
I don't
slender
have.
blender.
Oh.
It's a slender blender. Okay, so let's
Oh,
try.
yeah.
Let's try
Good
another
one.
one. Thank you. Let's try another one. Okay, so this is a uh, a self-managing fern-laden place. Okay, a self-managing fern-laden place, and it's an inky pinky. This is kind of a ridiculous one, really. Hibbeely got it.
place.
Hibbeely got it. It's an auto grotto. Okay, can you make up one for me?
Oh, never heard of grotto before.
Can you make up one for me?
Uh, hmm. Illuminating combat.
A light fight?
Yes.
Okay. So, let me ask you this question. So, there's a woman named Emily who's trying to get across a river with a pot of honey, a bear hunter, and her dignity intact. Now, you know, you're there too. She's approaching. You know that this bear hunter has sexual assault on his mind, and that you know if she goes in that boat with him, you know, he is gonna. How the pot of honey comes into play, we're not really sure. But regardless, what do you do to intercede to prevent her from getting on that boat and meeting her doom?
Before she gets on the boat, I take the boat, untie it from the thing, and kick it off the dock with the bear hunter on the boat.
I see. So you've waited for him to get on the boat, and he's reaching out to get the lady's hand. He said, come get on the boat, Emily. But you're like, no. But then she's like, my pot of honey. Okay, and she doesn't believe you. She just thinks that you're the criminal now. What do you say about that? Because on the other side of the river, Habili, are her English muffins that she wants to put the honey on. What do you say? Now she's mad at you. She's blaming you. Why did you do that? Why?
I don't know.
And then the bear hunter takes out the paddle and he paddles back to the shore where you and the lady are, and he's like, what the fuck? I see. Use the honey.
Got me on that one. I don't know.
Okay, Desert INTJ, I think you're onto a really good idea here, which is basically the solution is you use the honey to lure a bear, which lures the bear hunter away, and then you just send her on the boat by herself. I guess maybe you can only use half the pot of honey. Maybe that would. No, I'm still in this giant closet that we call the world, Franco. Franco says, has the host come out of the closet yet? If the closet is this world, no. I'm still in this world, living, loving, learning, and laughing. Together with you, Franco. Oops, you were hidden from this channel. Aw. Oh. He accused me of being secretively homosexual. Despite my 2 ex-wives, my daughter, whom I made with my penis, and my current wonderful life partner, Rachel, also a woman. Okay, so, I agree with you, Sheila. Okay, so here's what I'm leaning, and I'll get other people's thoughts on this as well. I'm leaning ESTP, but INFJ is certainly feasible with the test results we got. Take out the hunter, says Genexial. Hop in the boat. You could, I try to change it every time, Heather Bryant. I try to keep things fresh, you know. I am pretty and witty, and therefore extremely gay. You know, I made an album one time called Russ and Steven, Let's Play Leapfrog, Now It's My Turn, and we published on Extremely Gay Records, and it was history's gayest thing. It was beautifully, beautifully gay. It's about 2 men who love each other by loving cheese. Anyway. Yes, I try to mix in. Oh, all those women are just beards. All those women I get with are just beards, yeah. Anyway, regardless, he did manage to occupy a fair amount of attention here in the middle of typing you in the stream. You're a tricky one. I'm inclined to say you're ESTP. Somebody's been suggesting possibly INTJ, but I don't really see it. You're definitely not ENFJ. I don't know. I must have been at a loss when I was typing you before. I don't blame myself. I don't blame my former self. You're confusing.
2.5 years ago.
Oh, it was a long time ago.
It was 2.5 years ago.
Okay, so I didn't type.
Polar test.
I didn't really type people that way back then. Okay, cool. So Winston's mom wants to know.
Kim interfered and told you I was an ENFJ, and yeah.
Okay. Do you make new friends easily? Asks Winston's mom.
Um, it would sometimes it depends on the person, but I usually just I don't usually don't talk that much
I see. Why don't you talk
unless
that much?
I'm forced to.
And this is one of those circumstances.
I don't know, just there's just like if there's no reason to say anything and the people are just having stupid conversations, there's no point to it.
So, what kind of conversation makes you feel more bored? Is it a conversation where somebody is relating basically how a movie impacted them emotionally? And it was just, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe it. It was so sad. And I was just sobbing there in the theater. That story or a story about. So then after that, I went and I dropped off the mail. And then I stopped by the supermarket and picked up a bag of charcoal. And then I came back here. Which kind of story is more boring?
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't like the SI story when they're just. My ex was an ISFJ, and that's all she did was give a list of everything she did, and then she asked me a question and expect a giant SI list, and then I talked about anything else, she get mad at me. Like, it's annoying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, can you explain what you think about how you understand extroverted thinking?
I'm pretty bad at it, but I'm around a lot of, my dad's a ISTJ, and always heard how I was doing stuff wrong. I try to put a table together, and instead of being straight, it's like I don't know. Figure out the least efficient way to do something, and you're doing it wrong.
Okay. So,
Okay, do it for me then.
okay. So if something breaks around the house now, are you likely to think of who it is you can talk to help you fix it, or are you going to try to fix it yourself?
Like if it's something major, I'm gonna call someone to fix it.
Okay.
Or before I mess with anything, I'm checking the YouTubes
Sure.
and still find a way to screw it up.
Um, it's generally true, Sean Ryan Barron. I mean, the thing is, how you test, I guess you test most. You don't. Alright. I want you to tell me the same thing in two different ways, okay? You're going to say the sentence, uh, I'm sorry that you didn't get everything you wanted at the store. The first time you're going to say it so that it sounds like you're serious and you really feel bad for the person. And the second time you say it, I want you to say it like world's smallest violin.
Um, I'm sorry you didn't get what you wanted from the store, and I'm sorry you didn't get what you wanted from the store.
Okay. How about this one? I want you to say, "Oh yeah, that's really important." Um, first as a first as a serious thing, and second as a sarcastic thing. Oh yeah, that's really important.
Oh yeah, that's really important.
Now sarcastic.
Oh yeah, that's really important.
Okay. um. Okay, so well, emailed Anthrax says why not Effie first, or Sean Ryan Barron. I agree with you. Obviously, it seems obvious to me Effie's not anywhere near the top, really, based on that. I don't really have a strong FI test. What's what's super important for you?
Um, that I treat people fairly. I'm nice. That nobody, you know, can nobody can criticize me, you know, for doing something wrong, saying something wrong, being mean or something, I hate it when they get me and then I have to say, boom, you got me. It's awful.
All right, what about this? How many ways could you think of to use this besides lighting a fire?
Um, you can you can use it, stand it up, and then use it to hold a phone up to FaceTime. You can um stick it under a table leg. Um, you can nervously spin it around the table like a fidget spinner.
Okay, all
You can
right.
throw it at someone.
Okay,
Um,
all right. Let's play a rhyme, okay? I'll say one, then you say one, then I say one, then you say one, okay? Boy. You say a rhyme. What rhymes with boy?
what?
Give me a word that rhymes with.
Oh, just a word or a
Yeah,
full
just
rhyme?
a word. Boy.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I didn't get. Okay, my toy,
Joy.
koi,
Um, ploy.
Troy,
Okay. Soy. Stuff
I
at this
don't know.
point. Kind of running out of one syllable ones. Okay, did you practice a lot of these NE questions or TI questions? I mean, it shouldn't make that
No,
much of a difference, really, BB Raleigh. It
I,
really
I
shouldn't
mean
make a difference. But, I mean, it is
the
true that
TI
ISFPs
was
can
just
sometimes practice you.
doing it to test my ability.
Okay, alright. So, I would say you don't appear to be FE, at least, uh, if, well, like, if I were to demonstrate my changing the terms of those things, it would be like, oh, I hope you got everything you needed from the supermarket. Or, oh, well, I'm so sorry you didn't get absolutely everything you wanted from the supermarket. Oh my God, what a tragedy. Right? So, like, I'm much more able to do that than you are, at least. Unless you want to prove me wrong here. If you want to say, I can't believe they didn't give you pepper on your salad. Say it seriously and say it sarcastically, and let's hear it.
I can't believe they didn't give you pepper on your salad. I can't believe they didn't give you pepper on your salad.
Okay. I think that might be like
I can't
Fe
say it
polar.
without laughing.
Okay, so Sheila, I don't think. Oh, he can't be an ESFP. His TI is too good. Even if he practiced it a lot, I don't. I just. I threw him stuff that I've not normally really thrown out there before. He'd have to adapt. Let me ask a couple more genealogy questions, I guess. Who's my? Okay, here's a piece of information. My dad is an only child. Who is my aunt's only sister's mother's husband's only son's child in relation to me?
Me.
No. It's your cousin. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Who
Okay.
is my mother's father's wife's only son's wife in relation to me?
Can you repeat that?
Who is my father's wife's I'm sorry, my father's who is my father's wife's only daughter's husband in relation to me?
Uncle.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, was he? I might have gotten it wrong. Dattei, you may have been right about me or my sibling rather than a cousin. Okay, uncle is right. So, how about people are skeptical. The thing is, I would suggest that the data at this point. Okay, well, can you break down how to celebrate Christmas into 5 steps?
Get a Christmas tree. Hang some lights. Sing some Christmas songs. Uh, uh, eat some Christmas food. Dress up like Santa.
Okay. Um, so here's what I'm thinking. After typing you a lot, okay, I will, Mac Daddy. Let me ask this other question first before I get into this here. If there are 3 fandangos per qualaboom, if there are 3 fandangos per qualaboom, and there are 6 qualabooms in a velour, then how many fandangos are there in a velour?
$18.
Right. Okay. So here's what I think. I don't think you're gonna be. I don't think you're expecting this result at all. I think you are an ISTJ. And I think you may have just
How?
helped me discover a meaningful polar test. Because almost anybody, it would seem to me, would be able to successfully demonstrate sarcasm if they were FE front stack at all, or even 5th or 6th or 8th. But regardless, I could be wrong about that. The thing is, you've demonstrated good competency. I was thinking ESTP for a long time, but you've indicated a relationship with TE that at least conceptually sounds like an INFJ's, but I mean, I'm kind of confused about you, you know? I find you generally confusing. In other words, I can't take anything from your affect, really. From your test results, you've eliminated all my polars, right? The closest thing that I get to a polar is FE. You could be INTJ. That's possible. Instead of ISTJ. Probably makes a little bit more sense. But you could be INFJ?
Wouldn't I be then at least competent at TE?
Well, yeah, but you're self-reporting.
Or, I don't know.
You're self-reporting that you're not good at it, right? And so I don't know what that means. I can't really place any meaning into that, because the more SI a person is, the less reliable they're self-reporting in that regard. So I just kind of have to dismiss that. I don't have particularly good tests for TE, frankly, and I don't know. I mean, the bottom line is, I've never been as confused by anybody for a long time as you. You confuse me. I don't know quite what to do with you. I think you're an FE polar, because the thing is, you're not NE polar by my tests. You're not TI polar, obviously, by my test. In fact, you might be TI second. If you are, then you're obviously an ESTP. You sort of check out for FI polar. Well, let me ask you this. I yell at myself when I'm not
Is it possible that is it possible that I could be an ESTP, but most of them are usually Enneagram 7s or 8s, but I'm an Enneagram 9.
Yeah, you could easily enough be an ESTP.
4-7.
Okay, yeah, look. ESTP,
because I'm more calmer.
ESTP is definitely on the table. The thing is, what you'd expect to see from both ESTP and ISTJ would be good, effective ability to demonstrate SI, but I will agree that I don't normally see such robust TI in an ISTJ, and that what I'm picking up as FE polar is not something I've ever used as a test before. So, in other words, I can't really say from having checked it out. Okay. Emailed Anthrax says you're not FI polar, but I don't know how much weight to put into Emailed Anthrax's intuition on that, obviously. So, no, I'm not asked the troll question. You've heard the troll question, I'm sure, before. What are your thoughts on it?
Yes. But I've already heard it and heard the answers, so.
Right. No, Mac Daddy, listen, there's nothing here that's inconsistent with the tests, right? So if he were ESTP, that would be consistent with the tests. If he were ISTJ, that would not be inconsistent with the tests. It would probably be a little less consistent. And that's a limit to the test. It's not just because a test can't figure out everything doesn't mean there's something wrong with the test, right? Mac
Question.
Daddy. So don't be a bitch.
You said I don't know, a month or two ago in a typing session or on a live stream or something that emotions, when people feel emotions, there's also the physical thing to that, and I never knew that until you or someone said it in the typing session. I was like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. Could that be FI polar?
I mean, I would think that would link more to FI polar. But
then okay.
So,
because I usually don't know how I'm feeling. I usually gauge it off. They'll be gauging it off how other people feel. Like my last
Okay, can
relationship, everything's fine. I'm saying everything's fine, and then she said it wasn't, and then and I didn't know we were having problems.
okay, act like you're bashful. You did well on the NE test, not dumb or anything.
Savvy ain't.
All right, try this one. You want to be angry instead? Go ahead, be angry. Show me angry face. Okay. Now say, "Hey, mister, that's not okay," in an angry tone of voice.
Hey,
Cool.
Mister, that's
Hey, mister, that's not okay. Like that. Try it.
hey, Mister, that's not okay.
Okay. Um. I guess. Okay, so I want to get other people's input here. Who here thinks he's more likely to be an NI user than an SI user, or who here thinks he's more likely to be an SI user than an NI user? Because I'm thinking, you know, if you're an SI user, then I think you're an ISTJ. If you're an NI user, then I think you're an ESTP. But ESTP makes more sense with your TE answers, at least from a valuing perspective. So talk to me about solving problems. How do you go about doing that?
Um, like I would usually either look it up on YouTube or just try to fix the thing or try to make the thing and screw up 6 or 7 times and then check the YouTubes.
Okay. Um, let's say I hired you to build me a boat. Talk me through. You've just accepted the job. Walk me through your next steps?
I would I would go to the store, buy the nails, buy the wood, buy the metal, buy the equipment, and I guess go borrow power tools from someone and try to put it together, and then I guess put it in the water and see if it floats.
Okay. Um, okay. I want to invite anybody else who has any questions they'd like to ask. I am. I I feel kind of at a loss to be able to distinguish any further between ESTP or something else. All I know is that he doesn't test polar for TI. He doesn't test polar for NE. He doesn't test polar for SI. What is your truth? Tell me what your truth is. Sheila W. wants to know the flavor of your favorite truth.
My my truth, I guess I like to. I don't know. I like to, have fun. Do stuff with friends. Do stuff with people. Get a group, like, chill and hang out and just have a good time.
Okay, what makes you yell at yourself? Like, I yell at myself when I knock stuff over, like I knocked Rachel's bong over earlier, and I said, "Stupid Eric," or something like that, you know? What makes you do that? What little kind of thing like that makes you yell at yourself?
Uh, like I walked into a chair, um, carrying stuff, start dropping it, just, just making simple, stupid, mistakes, like
Okay.
dropping something or just, or why'd you do it like that, or like saying that to myself, like
Okay.
driving somewhere I'm not paying attention and just go a stupid route or something, or
Okay, well that would sound more or less like TE or SE, one of the two, sixth slot. Okay, do you have any particular memorable Christmas morning from your childhood?
mm, no, I don't really remember. No, not that I remember. Like I don't, not a particular memory. You know.
Okay. Um, okay, so, somebody else asks for a list of hobbies. Do you have a list of hobbies to give us?
Um, basically, some friends. Working out a little bit. Going on, you know, walks and doing stuff outside. Getting a group over, watching a game, or watching something on TV, or
All right, do you have people
going
in,
outside and grilling, or
do you have,
eating.
do you have groups of people like inner circle, medium circle, outer circle, or ordinality people like closest, second closest, third closest?
It's like inner, like inner circle, outer circle, this group, that group.
Okay, okay. So I mean I think all the data is most consistent with ESTP. That's what I can tell you. The data is most consistent with that, but that you are also one of the more confusing people I've encountered in a long time. Um, there's going to always be a lot of controversy about this. I don't feel very certain about it myself, so I'm glad I'm not. This didn't cost you anything. Uh, Sheila, the thing is,
Yeah.
Sheila keeps throwing out there that seems an FI answer, seems a lot of SE. Okay, well, the thing is, we know he's not ESFP because he tests too well on the TI, and we really threw a lot of TI questions at him. and he tested well consistently across the board. So he's not an ESFP.
What about ISFP?
Well, you also did better than Polar on all the extroverted intuition questions. So you're not an ISFP. And you did better than Polar on all the introverted sensing questions. So you're not an ENFJ and you're not an ENTJ. Thing is, you seem to countervalue extroverted thinking rather than valuing it, which would suggest you are ESTP, which is the type that seems most likely to. Well, the STPs are the type to most likely be in the typology, I think, the sensor types, because they're TI. Along with ESFPs and ISFPs. So, but the thing is, could you be an ISTJ? Well, yeah, you could, because it would mean fourth slot NE, which would be not inconsistent with what we tested. But then again, neither would eighth slot be inconsistent with what we tested. It would mean Polar FE, which is not inconsistent with what we tested, but not confirmed by what we tested either. And it would mean third slot FI versus Polar. You should be able to tell those things apart, but you're kind of tricky. I don't know what to say about it. I don't really have definitive FI-FE tests, and so it's kind of a crapshoot. Your TI is robust.
I'm just like between the FD and SI. I know it's just a correlate or whatever. I just know I'm more SE than SI.
Okay. I mean, I would agree with you that in terms of all of your self-reporting about stuff, you would seem to be not particularly valuing of SI, at least not for yourself. So that would be more consistent with the STP, who values it more for the external world than for themselves, SI. I think that the single type with whose your data, your test results is most consistent with is the STP. But a lot of people are going to say, but you don't really have the affect of an ESTP? You don't seem like an ESTP or whatever? Well, the thing is, that's why we shouldn't use those kind of things to determine people's types. I'm going to go with ESTP and just say that I'm not 100% sure.
What percent sure are you? Like 60?
No, I'm more than that. I'd say I'm about 80% sure you're ESTP. But the bottom line is, you display in certain ways that are contraindicative of what people think or expect from ESTPs, regardless of what the cognitive function typing shows. Now, could some Enneagram stuff account for that? Possibly. But I generally don't I try not to make those excuses, so to speak. It is the case, though, that some people's type and what you expect from them as an affect run afoul of each other. In other words, your NI is not appropriate in this context. If you NI him as Mia, that's probably wrong. You should go with the actual test data results instead of your gut on his affect, right? So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to say ESTP. However, sometimes gut ends up being right, so I just put it about 80%. And I think I'm going to wrap it up at that point. So thank you very much for suggesting this, and for persisting, and for your follow-through and persisting. And I'm sorry I couldn't be more definitive. That's not normal for me, but I appreciate your participation. Okay, so thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, goodbye, everybody.